What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? It's that time of the day, that time of the week, that time of the month.
Live from the Ultimate Ears studio, you're listening to
The Good,
The Band.
The Ugly, I'm Big Papa.
And I'm Jeff.
And today, oh, what a day we have.
Yes.
Oh, what a tangle web we weave.
Mm-hmm.
If at first, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
How you doing, my friend?
Good, you?
Been a week.
It has.
Been a hell of a week.
Yeah, it has.
Well, hasn't really, but... Things good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you?
I hear you had a good day at work today.
Oh, lovely.
That's great. We might be picking up a sponsor.
Which one?
The green,
Oh, yeah?
The green kind.
The green kind?
Yeah, buddy.
The money kind?
I don't even want the money from these guys.
Oh.
Yep, whole lot of
that kind of green.
Whole lot of gummies going on.
Oh.
I'm just saying. That's a sponsor. It's not an advertisement.
Right.
They're just going to help us be even keel.
Okay.
Not to be confused with Ultimate Ears. You can hear your own tears with Ultimate Ears.
Did you practice that one all day?
Yep. We did it last week. I thought it was funny.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody funny. Hey, great show today.
Yes.
This proves that we go down different avenues for folks that you can only hear so much about the musicians before you realize there's so many other people that bring us joy in this music industry. You flip through social media, you see these candid photos or see some photos of some concerts. It's not always taken by
a cell phone.
A 15-year-old with a cell phone.
Yep.
Sometimes those 15-year-olds grow up to make it a career.
Yes.
So before we even give any more information, let's have Mr. Jason Nelson join us and tell us a little bit about his photographing of some of the greatest musicians that are out there right now. So, Jason, thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
We appreciate that. And those are some incredible headphones you have. It's those are great. I love those.
The best.
They're invisible. I'm sorry.
That's it, right? Those are the best. Those are ultimate ears.
They are.
Yeah, these are the ultimate ears headphones. Those are just the ultimate ears. Yes. God bless you, man.
Yep.
So you've been doing this for a while. You started photographing musicians, but you also have all kinds of things you love to photograph.
I do. I'd like to give you a little background first. So in high school, everybody does their career report, and I happened to do mine on being a concert photographer or a tour photographer. I would go to shows. I went to shows just for my passion for music. I went to shows, brought my camera when you were allowed to bring a camera to shows, and I would go back when the artists would come back through town. I would take my work and show them, and they would love it, give me access to shows, and that's kind of snowballed. I went to the Art Institute in Pittsburgh for photography. It helped a bit, being in Pittsburgh and all the venues down there. And then fast forward to 1999, a little band called System of a Down. It was their first tour. They were doing clubs, and I had shot them one time prior. Brought the photos and showed as many people as I could, and I can't remember who the guy is, but he said, I want someone to see these photos. So they took me inside the venue and walked me upstairs into this production room, and that's where I met. It was a mutual friend of ours, Mary Jo, who's one of the greatest production managers / tour managers out there. She's been with, you name it, Dio.
It's funny.
Lady Gaga, you name it.
I'm going to stop you for a second because it's funny you mentioned that, because we knew this, Jason. And Mary Jo is with us right now. In spirit.
In spirit.
Mary Jo, come on in.
Jason.
Hey! Great to see you. Awesome to see you.
See,
You look great.
And
You too.
we knew that this reunion would be a great thing. So, Mary Jo, Jason is a young lad with these photos, and he comes up into your office. And at the time, he said you're with System of a Down.
Did I say I was with System of a Down?
Is that what he said?
I did.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Well, I was physically with System of a Down, so yeah,
Oh.
Yes.
I was there. They were there. I was there.
So, what drew you to his photos that he showed you?
They were good. They weren't the normal crap that little kids come up to you and say, "Here, look at my photos."
Right?
And you're still a little kid, Jason.
Oh, I don't know. In November, I just turned 50.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
How did that happen?
Yeah, that was 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
That's wild.
So, Mary Jo,
Next year.
quick for our listeners, he's mentioned a little bit. Tell us a quick, because this isn't about you, this is about Jason. But tell us a quick your history as in the touring world. What you've just the highlights of some of your resume.
Are you talking to me or Jason?
Well, Mary Jo would be you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you need to make yourself clear.
I'm sorry. I need to enunciate more. I'm sorry. I have a speech impediment, so I apologize.
You know, I know. Did your mom take drugs or something?
I think she may have. Yeah.
I think she dropped him on his head.
You have one job.
We've all been there. You know, I worked for Slayer, Dolly Parton, System of a Down, Lady Gaga. There you go.
That we're gonna cut there.
That's about it.
That's enough. That's as much as she's gonna give us.
What do you want?
Well, tell us a little bit about how this lad you decided to help his career along and help him out, and you saw the photos.
He said to me, he goes, "Can I have a photo pass?" And I'm like, I think it was cold out. I didn't want to be there. I didn't like the club. And I'm like, let me see your pictures. Like I know anything about pictures. and he had his pictures. And I'm like, wow, these are really, really good. And I'm like, sure, you can have a photo pass. And we've been friends ever since.
Have you used him on? Have you invited him to tours, or has he just showed up when you just said, "Yeah, go ahead"?
He just shows up. Remember that time we were in Detroit for Slayer?
Oh, God. we had to go in through the back door because there were drive-by shootings at the venue in the front of the building, so everybody had to. Yeah, that was scary.
There was a burned-out car on the way in. I'm like, we're definitely not in Kansas anymore.
You said Detroit?
Yes.
They've got burned out cars all the time. It's Detroit.
Cars, houses, you name it.
It was an old, huge club called Harpo's. And it was one of those things where, like, the pit was, they didn't have a barricade because the pit was like 10 feet down, 10 or 12 feet down from the stage. So they never had a barricade. You never needed a barricade. So the people started to crawl. It was like cockroaches, and they would crawl over each other to get up to the stage.
Wow. And
we were on the side of the stage watching this, and it was crazy.
Did you ever see that movie, was it X, where they're coming up, the zombies are coming up the wall?
It was sort of like that.
That's cool, actually.
Climbing over each other.
At the end of the night, I was so worried about, you came with your cousin, didn't you?
I did.
I was so worried about him. I'm like, I can't, you have to go to a hotel. It's true.
I think you end up putting me on the bus with Tom Araya, and we just sat and talked about his family.
Well, I was just so worried about everybody. I was worried about everybody. It was like we were in like a war zone.
That's cool.
No, that's not cool, but
well, no, it's cool. It's a cool story because he probably got some shots that no one would ever have expected to get.
Right.
I mean, you could probably pull those shots up, and if you do pull those shots up, shoot them over to me, and I will put them in front of us.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll put them when we do the editing of the show.
Probably Mary Jo in the corner rocking and crying because it was really scary.
What are some of the other shows maybe or memories that the two of you have that can be PG? She's thinking.
I do remember when you were with A Perfect Circle.
Yeah.
For some reason, what's her name? Paz, the bass player.
Paz Lei Shan.
She had me get
How
on a
can you
treadmill.
say that and not Julio?
We ran on a treadmill together, and
I remember that.
someone took pictures while we did it. It was a good time. I got my exercise for the night.
Or the week.
There you go. Or
for the week, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
For the month.
Running back and forth to the snack cupboard does not constitute a workout.
Sure it does, especially if you're going after peanut butter cups.
Well,
So last year, was it last year? I don't know. Years just blend away. So when you came to see me on Ghost, and first of all, Jason always brings me Starbucks, which is very nice. If you want to come see me, that's what you have to do. And no, you can come anytime, though. But were you there when my 3 crew people sang songs from Broadway plays?
No, I would have joined them.
Yeah. I have video of that, and they did a little dance too.
See, now there's some photos you missed.
yeah.
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 I have video.
Even better.
So
I think Jason has a much more interesting life. He's done and been to many places that I will never see.
give us an example, Jason.
Well, besides the photography, I like to visit haunted places, abandoned places. So I'm sure you've seen the movie The Conjuring, or at least heard of it.
Yes.
I was the second person to stay in that house after someone bought it. I stayed alone, and it was pretty intense, pretty cool. Just to say that I got to stay there. But I do travel all over the place to check these places out. I just like to see as much as possible, constantly going somewhere if I'm not shooting a show. But lately it's been pretty busy.
Well, if you come up to Syracuse, my youngest daughter knows a few places you could go visit, because she does the same thing.
Oh, nice. That would be amazing.
She likes to go and visit, rundown buildings and haunted this and whatever. So I'm like, yeah, go for it.
So depressing, haunted, abandoned. I could introduce you to my ex-wife. You could probably hang out in the bedroom over there. That's depressing and haunted.
And abandoned.
And full of cobwebs. Anyways.
Like musty.
So, yeah. Now, do you mix the photography aspect of it when you're doing the ghost haunting stuff? And have you gotten some really cool photos?
I do. So most of the abandoned places are very picture worthy. Lots of graffiti, or just broken down, and I enjoyed photographing it, as well as investigating, I guess you'd say.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't really have anything coming up as far as that goes. Pretty much because I have so many shows lined up in the next couple of months. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love it. So
this hobby turned into a paying hobby, because it's not your main career.
It's not. I actually have worked a retail management job for 25 years at the same place. And I mean, obviously, if I've been there for 25 years, I really enjoy it still.
Right.
I enjoy like my crew and really pushing them and coaching them and making them working them up in the company. But I really do enjoy it. So I really don't have a lot of free time. I actually work today, and then I have a show tonight, and same thing tomorrow. It's It's nonstop. I travel a lot.
And usually,
I think your retail job is one of the coolest jobs. Who knew that was such a good company?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
can you share that with us, or is that something you need to keep on the DL?
I actually manage a Hot Topic store.
Say no more.
You're leaving out something, though.
Oh,
What's that?
she says you're
the
leaving
oldest?
something out.
I've been there the longest out of anyone, and there's 700 stores and I over 100 people working at the headquarters in California. But I've been around the longest.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Good for you.
That's awesome.
Wow.
You get a tip or something, like an AA or something?
I get this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, pat on the back. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, that's not true. You have retirement. You get more vacation than some executives.
That is true.
And he gets to wear as many
there are
Vans.
other perks too. I mean, they flew me out to California for a week, all expenses paid, because I was a top dog in the company.
He was employee of the decade.
And it was a really cool. They took us to Warner Brothers and got the back lot tour. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, there's kickbacks.
You didn't take any photos when you were out there or go see any music while you were in California, did you?
I did not.
Wow.
But I did go to Seventh Fail, the strip club where Motley Crue
Yep.
Yeah.
raising hell at the Seventh Fail.
Yeah.
I had to go there.
Nice.
Viper.
It's small, isn't it?
It is.
It is, yeah.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Those wide angle
well,
shots makes it look huge.
All of
girls,
them.
God, yeah.
5 girls, 10 guys makes it look packed.
Yeah, right. Well, but
You
like he said, you go to the Viper Room, you go to the Rainbow, you go wherever.
Yeah.
And what'd you do, Mary Jo? You turned your camera off.
I have to go get my charger because lovely Verizon, I couldn't get, that's why I was late. I couldn't get online. So I'll be right back.
We'll
All
talk.
right.
We'll talk amongst
talk, yeah.
ourselves.
Talks amongst yourselves.
Yeah. So, so I've been, the Viper Room, I've been in the Rainbow and all those. I mean, those are great photo worthy, historic places in music. Almost the room itself has as much character as the people that have been in it. And if you start looking around, you're like, wow, Lemmy used to sit here.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Bret Michaels would be sitting at this table while
5 girls are around him and one's under the, and
right.
one's under
Sebastian
the table.
Bach might be, doing shots off the bar over there,
right.
Or whatever. So that's pretty cool that you get a chance to travel, not just on your own dime, but I know I read somewhere that you said your dream is to just get hired for a whole tour the world, and just shoot it.
I'd love to do it.
Who would be your choice if you could?
Yeah, right.
Honestly, I would do anything, really.
Okay.
Any band. I mean, if it was a band that I liked, I mean, even better. But like just going out every night, getting the opportunity to do it,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be great.
So
I actually have a friend. Actually, was an employee of mine. Years ago, she'd said to me, "I want to do what you do. Can you just show me the way?" And so I did, and gave her some pointers and whatnot. And fast forward to this past year, she's a tour photographer for Tool.
Oh wow!
And you're like,
so
why did I
me.
teach her? Damn you! If
Yes.
only you knew somebody
Right.
high up in the touring world that could hire you for a tour. If you just knew somebody with influence.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Get me a job too.
It's funny because from this side, from the opposite side of any career,
Yeah.
whether we are doing something like this, tour manager, photographer, artist, musician, everybody's job looks better from across the table. But the work you put into all of it, nobody does more or less. And so many people give too much credit just to the people with the guitar in their hand or behind the microphone and forget to make a good show, to make it entertaining, to elevate awareness or to build interest, somebody like yourself as a photographer, somebody making sure that the artists don't have a temper tantrum because they didn't get their bananas and granola at 8 a.m, making sure all the rigging and pyro is done and all the the permits and licenses are pulled. There's so much of this business that keeps us in business doing this, but we can't thank what you guys do enough. And I think the people that listen to the show will eventually feel that and feel that there's so many aspects. We interviewed Rick Kua yesterday, and Rick, he said, it doesn't matter what part of the business you're in. If you have the passion for it, if it fills that void, So whether you're touring as their all-time photographer or you have the opportunity to see a different face and different attitude every show, you may have a richer life than the person that gets stuck shooting the same 5 people for 6 straight months saying, oh, look, this is where he's going to make that face he makes and pick his ass and throw his guitar, or whatever. So it could get old and mundane. And like if we talk to Mary Jo about some of these tours she's been on, and we're like, how exciting is it? She's like, yeah, it's great. The first one might have been freaking cool. Right. Or the first show of every big artist. But after a while, like Mary Jo said, they all blend together. So,
Well, it's work. It doesn't matter if I go into an office. It's just, I go into an office every day. It just happens to move a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, just different place.
Yeah.
It's still a cell.
Yeah. And I think the stuff that Jason is doing, don't sell your freedom short to do the freelance stuff. I think that there's nothing worse than putting your heart and soul and getting some of the best photos, and then the band says, thank you, we own those, and we're not going to use any of the ones that you think were great. Right. Because, we were kidding earlier. One of the artists, and I don't know if we should mention it or not, but a big name artist that said, oh, no, I own these rights.
Yep. No credit for you.
Yeah. I don't like how my ass looked in this leotard, so we're not using any of these shows.
Jason, I'll just say it. Was it Cher that had all the criteria? I think I remember.
She did. It was pretty wild. It was the first 30 seconds of the first song that I could shoot, but they stood in front of our cameras until she got to the right position and then walked away and said, you could shoot 30 seconds. Wow. I was like, I got some great stuff in 30 seconds, but I thought that was a little bit much.
Yeah.
I can understand that though, because that was, everyone's sad, so they all want a better picture of themselves. Stevie Nicks is known for having people, if you come to her house and she's doing a photo shoot, they want you to climb a ladder, like literally climb a ladder so you can,
shoot down.
My.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, there goes mine.
There goes your dream.
Right. Wait a minute. You mean I could have got paid every time I climbed a ladder outside of Stevie Nicks' house?
Right. What are we talking about?
And then she wants approval, and then she tries to Photoshop it herself, I think.
Oh no.
Well,
just say no.
Yeah,
just say no. Don't allow the photographers then. If you're gonna, I don't get it. I never got it.
Right. You might as well have your PA with her camera on her phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take the photos if you don't.
The person who had Jason Photoshop her passport.
You had to have your passport photo photoshopped?
Oh, that's awesome.
You're so vain.
Right.
You probably think the shoot is about you.
No, but you have them for 10 years. And it costs a lot of money.
Really? Jeez. Mm-hmm. Okay. Jason, you want to chime in on this one?
When some dude at home can make it on his own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can make that pass at home.
Yeah. No, her passport photo.
That too.
Yeah.
You can't make my passport at home.
Well, depends on where you live, I guess. Just south of the border, you get anything you want nowadays.
Jason. Yeah, Jason. Now with the new Pantera tours going on, do you get you know where I'm going with this? Do you get?
Yeah, I was actually going to touch on that and
Okay.
next, but
Cool.
I'm glad you brought it up. So I'm going to start. I'll start from the beginning. So Pantera is my favorite band. So I obviously I geeked out every time I've photographed them over the years. But I would say 7-8 times I photographed Pantera original lineup.
Yep.
And then in 2004 I photographed Damage Plan, which was Vinnie Paul and Dimebag in Pittsburgh. And 10 days later, we all know what happened in Columbus. He was shot and killed on stage. And my photos were some of the last photos of him alive on stage. And they were everywhere. I had a full page in Newsweek. It was on CNN, all over the place. I mean, hate to say that I benefit from tragedy, but like, I mean, I guess that's what happened. But it was a really sad time, and I still see those couple of photos from that night. People still run them in different magazines and websites, publications. But that was a pretty intense time. I had a friend of mine who was photographing the Columbus show, and I got a phone call from him that night. He was hysterical, and he said, "You won't believe what just happened." And he told me, and I put the news on, and it was all over the news. And that's when I've seen one of my photos when I flipped the TV on. I was like, "Oh, that's definitely my photo."
Right.
But yeah, it was pretty wild. And to just go into a store and grab a Newsweek off the shelf and open it up, and there's my name and my photo, a full page.
So let me ask you this: how does that work for you as a photographer? The royalty aspects of it. Musicians have ASCAP and BMI kind of policing the industry and paying artists whenever things are used. Getty Image has their pay for. Mm-hmm. How does that work for you?
So I've actually worked for Getty before, but I at the time I had my own agent. And that's, I shot the photos, did the editing and uploaded and captioned the photos, and they did the rest of the work. So once that happened in Columbus, they pushed it out to everybody, and that's why everybody picked up those photos. But everything went through the photo agency, and they, send me my royalty check every 3 months. It's a long time to wait for a check. Right. But yeah, that's pretty much how it worked. And pretty much all of the photos that I've had published, which I've been published in, you name it, Billboard, Rolling Stone, all over the place, was through them. Right.
Now, so, do you call yourself, and I only ask this because I have a friend of mine. I'm not going to say a friend. He's not a friend of mine. He's a tool, but he calls himself a photographer for a magazine, and they call him a contributing photographer. So is it a contributing photographer, or do you know what I mean? I mean,
yeah. So I call myself freelance.
Okay.
But at the time when I was working for the agency, I was a staff photographer for them.
Okay.
And they would set up a lot of the shows for me. But now I'm just freelance, and I shoot for a couple of big venues in Pittsburgh. I'm their house guy, which that's what I'm doing tonight. But I kind of just went out and contacted a bunch of newspapers, magazines, websites, and I just put my work down everybody's throat, and until people grabbed it, and now. Well, most of them know who I am and will reach out to me when they need something.
That's cool.
And it's pretty often, and it's pretty sweet. I love it.
Now, will you still get royalty checks from those days of taking that photo of Dimebag, or?
Yes, I don't shoot for them anymore, but anything that's used, I'll still get from time to time. I'll get something, which a lot of times I'm surprised. I'll go and Google and say, oh wow, I was in this magazine. I didn't even know it, but
Right.
I just look at the breakdown on the report and for so I could print things out so I have them for myself.
I mean, you're not going to go buy a new car when you get that royalty check in, but
No.
I mean, I know friends of mine that are actors, and he's
Might buy
like,
some ramen.
I got my royalty check. I'm like, oh, cool. What's it from? Oh, it's from my episode on CSI. I'm like, oh, cool. And it's $1.19 because it was on at 2 a.m. So I was like,
He bought his first package of ramen.
they wasted a stamp. Why don't they just wait till you're dead and give your kid $22 and be like, look, this is your father's life work for his CSI shot.
This is his legacy.
Yeah, there you go, kid. Here's the 22 bucks
there
your
it is.
dad left you.
Wow.
So every time that an episode runs,
Mhm.
they get a royalty check.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
For 19 cents.
It's some ridiculously low amount, but depending the actor, I mean, you're going to negotiate a higher price. But if
Right.
you're the guy who gets
Yeah.
arrested in scene 3, it's like boom, you're done. Here's 10 cents. Or I know he'd get his royalty checks from The Sopranos, and
Right.
it might be $22 or something, but it's nothing huge. He was, but that's cool though. I'm glad to see that you still get paid, even when you don't realize you're getting it. So freelance,
Right.
nobody owns it.
It's like Christmas at the mailbox every day.
Yeah. Yep. Guess we're not eating today.
Yep.
Good thing we got that hot topics.
Man, I wish it was every day. That'd be great.
Great.
Oh boy.
So Mary Jo, are you going to get him a couple month gig? I think you should bring him out with you.
Sure.
You should have
I
him
would
come
love
and
to
doc.
travel with Jason. I mean, it's always better to travel with your friends, and I love his stories. I mean, Jason. I think I can talk about this. You don't hide it. Was a pen pal
A what?
to Manson, and when he died, and it was in the papers that he left his likeness or estate, so to say, to one of his pen pal fans. I reached out to Jason. I'm like, "You're not the person." He goes, "No, not me."
Oh, Charles Manson.
Yes.
Did you think she meant Marilyn Manson?
I thought you said Marilyn Manson.
No.
I'm like,
Even I caught
No.
that.
so Charles Manson. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who else have you written to and has responded to you? Anybody else?
At one point,
Biden.
this really isn't out there. No.
Nobody that evil. Just Charles Manson.
At one point, I was writing to 40 people at one time, and it's pretty much everyone that you see on the ID channel. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Manson, David Berkowitz, all of the
Jeffrey
all the big
Dahmer.
name guys, and I usually don't put it out there just because people have mixed thoughts, feelings about it.
Great job,
But
Mary Jo.
I always tell them the reason why I did it, because I wanted to see what made him tick, what made him do the things they do, and eventually one day when they're all gone, I'm probably gonna write a book about it. I have I can't even say hundreds. I probably have thousands of letters,
Wow.
artwork
From
you
those
name it.
people?
Really?
I think that's amazing.
Wow.
Now, do you put a self-addressed stamped envelope in there so they write you back, or I don't.
Post
one
office
point-
box.
How do you get their number? How do you get their address?
So it's actually pretty easy to do.
It's like a dating game there.
I'm
What's
Chuck
that?
Woolery.
What?
Inmate number 2. On your first date, how would you entertain this?
tried to write
I'd
to
chew
Martha
his face
Stewart.
off.
We'll be right back in 2 and 2.
I tried to write to Martha Stewart, and it kept getting returned.
Well, she probably got sick of you stalking her for so many years.
know.
It's like, oh my God, send it back.
Martha Stewart.
Did you ever get a hold of her?
No.
Convict
But
number 2.
I've gotten autographs from her cookbooks and stuff.
You need to meet her.
Not
Oh,
from.
I have.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because I had her agent, her literary agent, call.
Fan of Slayers. Martha was a big Slayer
I
fan.
used my head.
No, she was a Snoop Dogg fan.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
Still is.
Right.
Yep.
So we're speaking of this. So of those pen pals, let's not even talk about the photography aspect. But had you met face to face any of them?
I did not. One in particular. I don't know if you've seen the movie Party Monster. The lead actor was Macaulay Culkin, and he played the character Michael Alec, who was a real guy who he was a club kid in New York, and he started that whole club kid scene. And he, long story short, he ended up brutally murdering somebody, and he went to prison. I wrote to him for maybe 15 years or so, and then he was released. So when he was released,
well,
and if you look into the story of what he did, you're gonna be. I was surprised that they let him go for what he did. It was terrible, but I ended up going to New York City and sitting down and hanging out with him for a bit.
And we met at Starbucks, and I'm still alive.
It was very bizarre. We went to. I actually took a friend of mine.
We got gauges together.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We showed up at a. He said that he was going to have an event at a club, private event. So we showed up there at 2:00 in the morning because we got into New York a little late. We walk up to this door with this building with no windows, no doors,
no way out.
The door, and there's a guy there, and he said he said it's a private event, and I said I'm here to see Michael, and then he said, "Are you Jason?" And I said, "Yeah," and he let us in. And what was going on in that room was insane. We had like wheels with people like. We had people attached to like wheels where they were spinning. It was kind of like an S&M club type of setting.
Yeah,
it was different, something I've never seen before. But yeah, I got to sit down and talk.
It's every day with you.
It's not every day with me. Weekends. I save that for weekends. Jerk off.
But it was an interesting night to say the least.
Did you bring your camera?
I did not. I do have pictures from inside that I took on my phone.
Right.
Yeah, but I didn't want to scare anyone.
Right? If you could have met some of those people that you actually wrote, who would it have been?
That's the fanboy moment?
No.
I would say probably Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to sit down with them and have them play me some
first name basis. Charlie.
Uncle Charlie.
Uncle
What's
Charlie.
up there, Mr. Skelter?
Uncle Charlie.
What's up, Mr. Skelter? Yeah.
He's different. He actually had a nickname for me. He called me Big Ears Nelson. Original.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah. When he passed away, and Mary Jo will say when he passed away, I don't know if you remember the story, but there were two people that were fighting for his estate.
Yeah.
And one of them was supposedly his grandson. And he ended up getting it. But his grandson reached out to me and said, "I know you're friends with my grandfather. Can you tell him I'm trying to get a hold of him?" So I did, and he said he didn't want anything to do with him.
Oh,
but he still got the estate. So I told him I talked to him, but he doesn't really want to talk to you. And then he stopped talking to me. So it was quite
missed it by
bizarre.
that much.
Yeah. Know that.
A little
You
white
didn't
lie.
reach out to Ted Bundy, did you?
No, I didn't. It was a little too late.
Yeah.
I think he was gone at that point.
how about Jeffrey Dahmer?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
I did write to Jeffrey Dahmer a couple times, but I didn't get anything back from him.
Just give him a little, give him a little something to chew on. A little food for thought.
Oh,
A fillet of bicep.
Just
Something.
I love having them over for dinner.
Right.
Oh God.
Keep the tip.
Right. Keep that. It's okay.
Dude, we could have had a whole show based around just this. Fuck
That
the
is
music.
no lie.
Those are anybody can go see Pantera.
I know.
There's only one Chucky Manson.
No, Charlie. Uncle Charlie.
Uncle Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheer up, Charlie.
Oh, jeez. Wrong movie.
Did he have nice handwriting?
No, it's atrocious.
Really?
Really, really bad.
Yeah,
Okay,
we could tell by the way he wrote his name on his forehead. It was just bad penmanship.
Okay, who had the best?
What's that?
Who had the best penmanship?
You're just a freak.
I am.
I would have to say, oh man, Patrick Wayne Tierney is his name. He was known as the trash bag killer.
Okay.
He killed people along highways in California. Around 30 to 50 people.
Wow.
Very, very intelligent, but his handwriting is insanely amazing.
Really?
Mine is too, by the way.
See?
So you're saying you're a psycho. Wow. Did you ever think about selling any of those letters or? I mean, there's got to be somebody almost as yourself that might want to pay big dollars for those. That could pay for the tour.
I've got offers, but I won't get rid of it. A really good friend of mine asked to buy one of my Manson paintings, and I have multiple, so I did sell it to him. But everything else I've held on to.
Wow.
They'll have to buy the book.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, when you get that book started.
Got it.
Yeah, you could be on the biggest by then the biggest podcast in music, and mention that you were on this one. And,
yeah,
absolutely.
He could be on Joe Rogan and mention us.
No, there'll be a new show.
Oh,
Mary Joe Rogan. Yeah, she'll have her own podcast, her own cast. Yeah. See,
that's a good idea.
There you go. No, it's not a good idea, unless she becomes sitting right here.
He's trying to oust you, Jeff.
Whatever.
How do you know?
Whatever.
No, because he'll probably be sitting right here.
Right.
So you've met, you've talked to some of these folks. There's got to be somebody outside of the, spleen eating killers that you might think of as like the pinnacle moment of your career, taking photos. Who would you say on the music side has been like your favorite to shoot?
Man,
you can't say that to those other people. They'll be like, I shot a guy in the head 12 times. It was awesome.
That's never happened.
Right.
Not
that we know of.
You're embarrassed.
There's multiple artists that I photographed that I just got the chills. And something that you mentioned earlier, just like looking up and 12 inches from me is this person that I've like worshipped, or is this guitar god.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many. I mean, every time I shoot Metallica, I get the chills. It's such a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Plant was a really great one for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Man, there's so many.
I like your 9 Inch Nails, your early 9 Inch Nails ones.
Oh yeah, 9 Inch Nails was always fun.
Yeah.
I was actually flipping through your Instagram and I noticed like there were some
stalker
really cool photos of like I think Behemoth.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like that before. Honestly. The way you photographed them and the way you know what I mean? It was just holy cow. This guy definitely has like an eye for what the audience wants to look for in a photo.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. The singer of Behemoth actually reached out to me on Instagram and asked if he could post some of those photos. Which,
that's excellent.
Yes, please.
Yeah, right.
Mary Jo, teach him the ways.
There weren't a whole lot of people at that. I know, but I was fanboying, you know. And there weren't a whole lot of people at that show, which I was kind of surprised.
Oh, no kidding.
They hadn't been in Pittsburgh in years, but yeah, there's so many. I mean, every time I see any kind of, I don't know how Mary Jo feels about this, but any Maynard James Keenan project is
always, love it.
Yes, it's always so fun. The thing I like about him is the rules are always, I mean, they're strict for everyone, but like lighting is always difficult, but it's a challenge and I love it. Right. Love it. So yeah, any project with him.
I'm sure you'll be on his 60th birthday tour.
I'm down.
What?
You said you're sure that I'll be on his tour?
I'm sure you'll be out to shoot some of the shows on his 60th birthday tour.
Can I get on that tour? No.
Keep in mind, this is a verbal commitment that you're about to sign a verbal contract.
Mike, time.
46 minutes, 29 seconds, just to let you know, Jason.
Yeah. Thank you.
You were saying, Mary Jo Spillane, tour manager to the Stars?
Jason and I will talk.
This just into blabbermouth. Right. But Good, the Bad, and the Ugly said Jason Nelson will be on the 60th tour. There you go.
I think I'm going to see Lucy's grave. You recommended that one to me.
Oh, in Jamestown?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a pretty one, isn't it?
It is. You got to follow the hearts to Lucy.
That's cool.
It's really, really cool.
Have you been to Europe?
I have not.
So you didn't you haven't been to like Jim Morrison,
right?
Yeah.
I knew where you were going with that.
It's the only one I know in Europe. I don't know. No, he would go to Hitler's. He'd be like, I sat at Hitler's grave. This is cool. I channeled him.
No, he could do the statue of Phil.
I dug up his mustache. Here it is in this bag. Yeah.
Have it in this baggie.
Yeah. No, he could have gone over there and done like Phil from Thin Lizzy.
Okay.
You know,
go take a picture of the little naked peeing kid.
Oh, yeah.
European.
That'll be my first stop.
Right. Well, that seems to be like the grave, the Mecca. You know, everybody goes to make their pilgrimage to Jim Morrison in France and go take a picture of his grave. But I feel that you've probably been down to New Orleans and been to some of those graveyards down there that are just like, wow. You know,
so cool. Great for photos.
Have you been to Dime Bags?
Yes. A few years ago, I did go there. I actually planned out a whole Dime Bag tour. Went to his house. Went to his favorite restaurant, which I don't know if you know this. It's a Mexican restaurant near his house. And when I went inside, they have all this memorabilia that Dime and Vinny gave the owner, and I seen the guy in the photo, and the guy actually walked by me, and I stopped him, and he wanted to talk, so he took me, and he said, "Let's go sit over here. This is Dime's favorite table," and like being the huge Pantera fan, like, oh my god, and he's just telling me stories how they would come there and drink until 6 o'clock in the morning, and then they would have somebody come in and make food for them. His favorite dish was the rattlesnake fajitas.
Oh,
so nice. I wanted to try it, and they didn't have them that night. So
sons of bitches.
But
probably could have gone out in the backyard and got one.
Didn't Jason Bittner talk about just having belligerent drunkenness with them?
Yes.
When they were on tour, Jason being the drummer from Overkill at the time and Shadows Fall now, but he mentioned, because he was there that night because they had played with them. But he was there the night he got
that's right.
Yeah. And he said that they would like just get obliterated and get Jason completely wasted and then leave him.
And then go play.
And then leave him. He'd be like, where did everybody go?
Oh no!
Yeah, and they'd be like, we left. We're on tour, man, and leave him wrecked. For the next, to show up for the next show.
Love their Crown Royal. I mean, they would go through bottles of it.
Yeah.
There's a reason they had Pedialyte on their rider.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's all. I mean, they would all be like drinking it the next day, like little babies.
Complete opposite of the night before.
Right.
Oh my God.
Oh no, wait.
Slayer toured a lot with Pantera, so I saw my share of the after.
I'm sure.
The Black Tooth Grin, I think it was called.
Yep, that's exactly it.
I'm going to ask. I'm going to bring this up. I'm not going to ask what band it is.
Uh-oh.
But I think one of the funniest things you've told me, Mary Jo, was a certain band that didn't want to have to take a break.
Yep.
You know where I'm going.
Say it. I'll tell you.
Go ahead. Tell the story.
Machine Head. They wore Depends.
No way.
I love it. I'll say it.
They wore Depends on stage because they didn't want to.
It was on Ozfest, their last night on Ozfest. And they knew they were going to be partying, and just in case, they were planning ahead. And then you saw them on stage. They were on the second stage here, and you could tell they were trying. It's like it's hard to wet yourself, and you could tell they were actually concentrating on it.
While on stage. Now, if that's not a photo, if you had only known, you're like, he is definitely trying to drop a deuce right now. I am shooting this.
Or you see him and he's got the pea shiver.
Yeah, that's not a solo face. That's like
it won't come out.
The drummer made it so much easier. Yeah, get off your stool. No offense.
No. Right.
Literally.
Jesus.
Rob Flynn used to do this horrible drink, vodka and Coke. What do you call them? Black eyes or something.
A black eye?
It was disgusting.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah.
He was one of those guys, like, he wouldn't let you go until you did one.
Oh.
You just throw it over your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I need this Pepsi chaser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything that's ever gone horribly wrong, Jason?
I have a few things.
Oh.
So
let's dig in.
One thing I really miss is Warped Tour. I can say that I shot every Warped Tour from Warped Tour 1 to the last one when they finished, which was 16 years. But somewhere in there, I shot Rancid, and the guitar player, Tim Armstrong, comes out on the stage, and he was pretty intoxicated, and he kicked his foot up on the speaker that I was under, shooting up at him, and he fell on top of me.
Oh!
And hit me with his guitar, and he couldn't get up. I had to help him up, even though he hit me, and he just kept apologizing, and then they got him on the stage, and I was okay with it, I guess. I mean, he didn't break my camera, then I would have been upset. But I was a Rancid fan, and Tim Armstrong hit me with his guitar. But that was a cool time.
I mean, if you can tell us, he's still black and blue.
Time. This actually happened twice.
Uh-oh.
I was shooting Slipknot, and the barricade broke, and my foot was underneath it, and I panicked.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine who was the security guard there had jumped on the stage and kind of yanked me up, got my foot out. I thought I broke my ankle. I did not, thank God. But it's terrifying to turn around and see you can't move, and all these people are pushing all their weight on me.
Right.
But that happened twice.
Jeez.
I hope it never happens again.
What's that, Mary Jo?
I said, that is terrifying. People can't hear you scream at a Slipknot show.
No.
No, they can't.
Can't hear you scream in Charlie Manson's house either.
Jeez.
Can't hear you scream at Cher's house either, apparently.
Nope.
Only the first 30 seconds of the screaming.
First 30 seconds.
Hey, come on, Cher. Jeez.
And if you're...
And speaking of Manson, Marilyn Manson.
Right.
Every time I have photographed him, you just have to be on your A game because you never know what he's going to do. And he definitely messes with the photographers. So like new photographers that come in, they have no idea, but he likes to throw things. He likes to spit on you. He's thrown water bottles at me, spit on me. The last time he threw a bag of powder. It was blue, not that powder. I seen his face. He threw a bag of powder at the photographers. And it was the first song, so half of the photographers had to leave because they got it was like a sand. They got it inside their camera, but I was ready. Gave it that quick turn and
your Gallagher moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking watermelon on my camera, that prick.
Oh my God.
Is he doing it just to be a dick, or
Right.
is he doing it because he just wants to be funny about it, or he doesn't want the photos taken?
That shock rocker, like
Dick.
I don't know,
Dickhead.
but lately he's been out of the spotlight, but I guess he's going on tour again. So hopefully I get to do that and see where he's at now.
See what he throws at you.
You're right.
Oh,
It will be
please
blue
don't.
powder.
That's right. Jesus.
This equipment is expensive, so
Yeah, right.
Paid for by Hot Topic.
Hot Topic. All the Vans you can wear.
There, right.
I think I'm a little. I don't think I've never been able to fit into a Hot Topic anything.
Oh.
Sorry, I've always been bigger than They're not a very fat guy friendly store. Just saying.
You're right.
I can wear the sneakers.
You don't have a 3X anywhere hiding in the back room?
We started getting them.
Oh.
And then they told us we didn't sell enough of them, so we stopped carrying them.
There's not enough fat guys in the world.
I guess not to go to Hot Topic.
Yeah. By the time they get that size, they've outgrown that style.
That Hot Topic
usually.
style, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
You're such a jerk, Jeff. I hate you.
Thank you.
I got to ask this question too, and I know we're just jumping all over. So you're taking these photos, and as you mentioned, Marilyn Manson being kind of a tool. No offense to Tool, but paparazzi are completely different. They're just opportunists looking for the worst in you. Do you feel that they still should belong in that artistic ability or that artistic world, saying, they're trying to capture a beautiful moment, or they're just a bunch of vultures? Just, what's your feeling on what we deem the paparazzi? Or are you saying no, they're an artistic photographer as well?
They're just doing it for the paycheck.
Right.
And if they get the right shot, I mean, they would be set for a while.
Right.
But
look, I made the cover of the Inquirer.
Well, that's just it.
Right.
But are they? But they. Some of that. I mean, I guess there's a difference between someone who deems himself as a freelance journalist or a freelance photographer that is trying to capture war-torn Yugoslavia or rioting or picketing or a great moment of something that's really going to be history worthy, versus Britney Spears nip slip,
Yeah, or she shaved her head.
Yeah, I mean, so
who gives a shit?
Do they deserve their place in history as a photographer, or just a leech on the photographic society, like you said, out for a paycheck? And I don't want to put you in a bad light, but I doubt any paparazzi are going, damn it, we almost missed this week's episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Man, I don't really know what to say about that. I mean, I will say I do watch TMZ pretty often, and that's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like what they do.
Okay.
Putting putting the celebrities family in in harm's way sometimes, because they're a lot of times they're very aggressive. I've been to events where there are paparazzi, and they're aggressive. They're very aggressive. So I'm not down.
No, and I think that's the best way to be. And Mary Jo, I'm sure you've seen it. There's a difference between someone like Jason walking into your office asking for a photo pass, or some dickhead out front just trying to get that one shot from the depth, from the darkness. You've probably run into both.
I've been in paparazzi chases with artists in Spain and Portugal, and like security's doing everything they can to outmaneuver them, but it's and they just know where you're going to be, and you try to move around and navigate around, and you take a wrong turn, the driver, and all of a sudden there's 3 more of them. It's scary. And then when you lose them, the artist goes, well, don't they want my picture anymore?
Oh, God.
I know.
Yeah, and sometimes you wonder, are the artists just adding fuel? Yeah. Are they adding fuel to the fire? And are they like, well, let's give them something to talk about, like the song, let's have a wardrobe malfunction.
And then when they're not there, then they're like paranoid that nobody likes them anymore.
Narcissists.
Poor John Bon Jovi.
Stop. It's tragic. Tragic. Poor John Bon Jovi.
I know.
Tragic.
I don't know why that's the first name that came to mind, but
no, because he's been a big crybaby lately, and his people aren't calling us to be on the show. It's weird.
I know, it's
weird.
Strange.
This is the biggest talk show on the market right now.
He got thousands of demerits when he tried to buy the Bills and take them to Toronto.
That's right. I forgot about that.
You do not want.
I don't forget.
Mary Jo demerits. Jason, have you ever gotten a Mary Jo demerit? No. You don't want it.
He's confused. Like, what's a demerit?
Don't make fun of us. No. Don't say the word speech impediment.
You mean like you do every other word?
I get demerits all the time.
Then how are you still in her good graces? I'll ask her that.
Royalty money. I have to give her a check.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who said he is?
Aha.
Yeah. See? She hates me.
I haven't done the podcast yet.
The cast. You did now. We're just going to edit your little portion, put them all together. Yeah. We need 2 more vowels, and you need to say these 2 words. We can put a whole sentence together.
We should have our own podcast.
Podcast. You and Jeff.
I said you and I should have our own. Absolutely.
See, there you go.
You know what? I would listen to that.
I would listen to that.
I would listen to that. I would. I think both of you, and Mary Jo, I appreciate you being on this show today. And talking a little bit about some of the stuff, but that's just like sniffing the cork compared to the whole bottle of wine that she could bring to the table. And Jason would agree with me. There's just so much there. And there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But,
I think you grandize it more than it really is.
Hey, you know what? I think you downplay it more than it is. And I think I've seen the way you are, and Jason will say it when I read the article that you brought him under your wing a little bit, and I think he owes some gratitude, and he's willing to give it, and you're just like, I'm nobody knows me, blah blah blah. You should get the credit you deserve, and Jason's the same as you. You don't always get paid for some of these photographs that people have really appreciated and don't realize that you're not getting paid to be out there. You're paying to get in some of these shows on your own dime. You're waiting in line like everybody else. You're taking the chance to meet somebody like Mary Jo's position, and hopefully
pay to get in shows. I don't think so anymore.
No,
not now.
No. And when I have to, I'm like, what? What do you mean?
Don't you know who I am?
Do you know who I know?
That's my thing too. I talk to everyone. So when I go to a venue, I pretty much know everyone from like the security guard at the back gate to like the guy working the lights. So that really helps.
Where's your favorite venue to shoot?
Definitely. Well, the venue I'm going tonight is Stage AE in Pittsburgh. It's an inside-outside venue.
Mm-hmm.
They have a garage door that comes up and down so that you can have 5,500 people outside or 1,700 inside. It's beautiful.
Wow.
It's great. That's my favorite venue for sure.
And
it has a special place in my heart as well. I did the Killers there for a private show.
Don't say the Killers. He'll want to write to them all. Don't say the Killers, Mary Jo. He likes because he likes the Killers.
I know. I'm tying it in. Did you see that segue?
Did you see how she did that?
Did you see what I did there?
Don't like Killers.
Right.
Killer.
We have a theme.
That's right. Wow.
Oh, there's a theme.
Not only does he like the graveyard, he likes how they got there.
Right.
Oh my God.
That's terrible.
Dun dun. Hang on.
Painting a terrible picture of me.
I know. Dude.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. I knew I had to use that voice just once today.
That was good.
We should hook him up with Jimmy Falco.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Because you've got to be a horror film fan, and Jimmy makes the.
He does like Michael Myers masks in his basement.
Yeah, he has a business. Spook House Props.
Spook House Props. Check it out.
Oh,
He's also a guitar player.
Oh, hell of a guitar player, but almost as impressive a mask maker.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the point where the gentleman that played Michael Myers, I believe,
they are friends.
They're friends, and I think he's purchased one of his his masks from him.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes to a lot of the horror show conventions.
Yeah,
So he makes masks.
He makes the latex. Masks,
awesome.
Puts the hair on one at a time. It's
So Spook House Props is what you want to check out.
Yes.
Okay.
Spook House Props, and that is
Mm-hmm.
It is something to watch because he does go live on his Facebook, and you watch him making it. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His Instagram is full of them.
Yeah. Well, he sells them like he's making a nice living on it. Let's put it that way. So, and then we also are our friend of the show, JV Johnson, who is the curator and I don't want to say curator, but the gentleman that brings Scaricon across the country. Also the executive producer of Ghost Hunters. They friends with the guys from the TAPS Paranormal Investigation. So there's somebody that we should hook you up with.
We have mutual friends then, because I too am friends with a couple of guys from that show.
So you may have met Mr. JV Johnson, old bass player of mine. But yeah, he would have Jason and those guys would come out, had been out to my establishment I owned years ago, and came to see us play and talked about the Ghost Hunter stuff. So that's another one of the things that they get to do that you like to do. So we got to hook them up.
Yeah, great. That's very cool.
Yeah. So
awesome.
And then Mary Jo will go on your next ghost hunt.
I'm gonna come pick you up.
Okay.
We're going to Maine.
Really? What a penitentiary are you going to?
That's my next. I haven't been to Maine, and I've been wanting to go, and I know there's a lot of spooky things there, so I think that's where I'm headed next.
Very cool.
There you go.
When are you coming to pick me up?
I'll give you lots of notice.
We can go to the Lost Kitchen.
Okay.
You familiar with that?
No.
Well, the Lost Kitchen is it's a very nice restaurant, and in order to get a reservation, you have to send a postcard. And hundreds of thousands of people send a postcard, and you can only send one. And if they pick it out, then you can get a reservation. So I've sent my postcard for the year. So if I get a reservation, you're coming with me.
100%.
There we go.
1 hour, 9 minutes, 14 seconds.
Yep.
Verbal contract number 2. You can sue her if she goes without you now.
I would never do that.
Well, it was on our show.
I'm taking my own photographer while I'm eating my hors d'oeuvres.
Right.
Wouldn't it be great though if you got done eating and you're like, this food sucked.
Man, this is bad.
I waited 6 years and 6 postcards to eat terrible food.
No, she said you have to send a postcard in every year.
Every year. So I said 6 years and 6 postcards later.
I don't think they keep them all.
It opened up last week or so.
Oh.
They said, they did a whole announcement that it's open for postcards now.
Wow. I think you should take Martha Stewart with you, and that way you could just take 2 bucket list items off.
She has no demerits. She's
if she was only a Slayer fan.
Right.
She is.
You better look, look out, find out who her favorite artist is, and then just get on that tour.
Snoop Dogg, I'm telling you.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. It's Marilyn Manson.
Are you telling me? Are you trying to tease us, or
no? I'm asking you to find out. We will document the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh
And how are you
Jesus!
gonna document this?
We're gonna get a photographer, a really good one.
I already have one. I have Jason.
Well, you know what?
See,
he is under contract by the Good, the Band, and the Ugly. We didn't tell you this yet. Yep.
Mark that.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
1 hour, 11 minutes, 36 seconds. Contract Jason Nelson. Bought for 12 cents an hour. This is wonderful. This is more than Marilyn Manson paid you, or Charles Manson for that matter.
Right?
Yeah.
Uncle Charlie,
Uncle Chuck,
Uncle Chuck.
I fully expect a coffee table book with Jason.
Yes, we will
Yeah,
be.
dude, when you put that together,
we'll be excited.
yeah.
Awesome.
Big time.
Just remember me when you dedicate it, Jason.
Absolutely. I've told you it's gonna happen.
This book of killers, murderers, and Mamus is dedicated to the one that started it all.
Yep.
MJ Spillane.
And don't forget your mom.
Don't forget your mom.
Shout out Kathy Nelson.
There you go.
What's up, Kathy?
Right.
Yeah.
Mom, don't watch
So
this.
for those of you that are aspiring to be a serial killer, if you needed Jason's to get his pen pal number, let us know,
Right.
and we will
hook you up.
forward it on. Yeah,
We'll hook
you'll
you
have
up.
someone to talk to.
We'll literally
guide.
hook you up.
We'll hook you up, jackass.
I will send
All right.
you on the right path.
That's
Right,
right.
there you go.
That's right. What 30 to life?
Bundy. I really do.
Yeah.
I bet he had really nice handwriting.
Ted Bundy. Yeah.
Just weren't sure whose hand it was.
Very smart.
I'm a righty, but I got a lefty in my hand. What's going on?
That's right. Yum. I don't bite my fingernails. I bite his.
Right.
Okay. That's about it. I think we're running out of.
I think the wheels on the bus fell
terrible
off.
shit here. Jason, thank you so much.
Yeah, dude.
It was fun. It was definitely not your usual interview.
No.
I love it.
You know,
Good
That
deal.
was a lot of fun.
Good deal.
I'm glad Mary Jo could join us as well.
I was too. We
Yeah.
got her. We got her on the cast.
Yep.
Love it.
Finally.
That's it. The casting couch with Mary Jo. I think we're going to call this episode.
Oh no. I'm not letting that happen, Mary Jo.
Thank you.
Just
You're
saying.
welcome.
No
All right.
demerits for you.
Oh, good.
You guys stick around. We're
I don't
going to
want
roll
any.
our credits right now, but don't go anywhere. They can listen to
They
we
can-
get done with
yeah.
this. Yeah. So
There's not much to listen to.
I know, right? You've been listening to The Good,
The Band.
The Ugly. I'm Big Papa.
And I'm Jeff.
That's
and
Mary Jo.
And that's Jason.
And that's Jason.
Photographer to the stars.
Tour manager to the rest.
To the rest.
And someone who just almost spit iced coffee
Saw that.
everywhere. We want to thank Ox Medical Supply, Sharky's Event Center,
DJ Life's the Beach, Good Nature Brewery,
Uncle Jimmy's Local Live Music, The Print Shop Underground,
Snarky Productions, and
Toffee Break Toffee. But don't forget our friends at
Ultimate Ears.
Ultimate Ears. Coming soon
To a theater near you.
to it. No. to an earlobe near you.
To your earlobe
no
near you.
offense. A very green sponsor.
Yes.
What?
A very green sponsor
very
on
green
the way.
Sponsor. Yes. It's going to be
Can't reveal that
It's
yet.
going to be the highest sponsor we had coming out around 420.
Aha.
Remember what we say every week. Be good to each other.
We're all we got.
Don't be a dick.
Right.
Peace, everybody. We should just keep playing their music. They're bobbing their heads.
I know. I like that.
Yeah.
Recording stopped.
Shut up.
It's a thing now.
Recording stopped.